Happy day, happy day. OST Volume 3 for Beat Saber is finally out. That does mean mods are gone, but we will live for it for a while because we still have custom songs, hell yes. I come home from work and the maps are out now, so I haven't even touched them at all. We're going to go into this completely fresh, but I've been waiting for this for a long time. They've had a ton of time to refine their mapping process, and seeing what they did with Imagine Dragons and the majority of Monster Cat gives me good faith in what they've done with OST Volume 3. If you're not familiar with this video series, basically what we do is we play the official maps in the game Beat Saber, and we critique the mapping style throughout it. Just gonna say right off the bat, let's get the negatives out of the way. There's 6 songs. I was already upset that OST Volume 2 had 5 in it, because it's taking up valuable space in this bar. OST Volume 1 has 10, this has 10, this has 10. Why not make it 10? I'm pretty sure they were, pushed to the deadline, I guess, with making these songs, because I know acquiring songs and creating them can take a lot of time. It just would be nice to maybe even see this consolidated with OST Volume 2. So OST Volume 2 and 3 consolidated into one. If you don't want to do that, I have a better idea. How about you just make this vertically scrolling instead? It might look a lot prettier. What do you say, eh? Alright, anyways. Second criticism, before we even play the map, what are these cover art images? Why do they all look super similar? Why are they all using the same color scheme? They just look like in-game screenshots. If we take a look at OST Volume 1, you'll see that the variety of pictures is a lot greater. Even OST Volume 2, these are just notes. It's super lazy, in my opinion. I want to see these changed. Also, third critique before we even play a map, where is the single saber? Single saber is honestly not that hard to map. It's actually super easy unless you're trying to perfect it like 100%. But even then, it's easier than regular map making to a great extent. Nothing really else to say before we get into it. Let's just start out with Origins. Origins is was released as a standalone game, basically before Beat Saber came out. Origins was the song that came with the pre-release Beat Saber that they released for free. But this, to my knowledge, is a remix. I watched Yaroslav's live stream when he was making this. I have not listened to any of these songs. I haven't even clicked them to see a preview yet, so I don't even know what they sound like. I'm just assuming from the name Origins, because me and Sting Me actually did a collab on the one that came with Beat Saber Origins, the free game. And we also went with the name Origins, so I'm assuming this is the remix that Yaroslav did on his live stream, so let's get into it. Also, we are going to be doing Expert Plus. Oh boy. I love this environment already. I am in love. Oh, I just realized I'm playing with Ghost Notes and Faster Song. I can already tell that this was mixed a lot differently. One thing I did want to know is that the way those walls were set up, it was kind of hard to tell that there was a wall still under me because of how the textures were interacting. Also digging the lighting as well. I also like this featured artist a lot. I was kind of expecting that to be a left hand for some reason instead of a blue. I like those redirections right there too. Final Verdict, hell yeah, great song. A lot of the music in OST Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, I don't usually listen to it in my free time, but for Beat Saber I like it. It feels nice, it's intense, it's fun, fits the game well. There's one thing I didn't want to bring up. Oh, why am I at 50%? And it's right at the beginning. It's about to come up right here. See, these are 3 separate walls. Because they're 3 separate walls, I can see the lines where they're touching each other. And because I can see that line right there, it's kind of leading me to believe that there's actually no wall above my head because of how that shader looks. So I would like to see those 3 walls become one at the point where you duck down. So even though you can see the seams of the wall as it approaches you, it would be better because I would 100% know that, yes, I'm under a wall for this entire duration, because that was like a solid 8 beats there. And it was kind of confusing to me because I was looking up and I saw those lines. I was like, is that the outlines of the wall? So can I stand up now? But no, there was a wall still there. There was a couple of weird like double downs in the bottom row, followed by side swipes like that. Not a big deal, just something worth pointing out, so I cover all the bases for things that people might complain about with this map. People might complain about that, the double down to the double sides, but it's really not a big deal. It picks up a very small, amount of the mapping in total, and I don't dislike it, but some people will bring it up, so just worth pointing that out. But overall, awesome. I wouldn't really change much about that map at all, if anything. Also happy to see they at least did a little bit of bombs, right? And I'm starting to notice, looking down this, Yaroslav only did 1 song. It looks like, I guess he's been busy, but I still did enjoy the one that he provided us with, and I'm glad to see it at the top. So it kind of sets the pace for the rest of the maps we're going to be playing today. All right, so next song, Reason for Living, Morgan Page. I'm not familiar with this artist at all. I am familiar with Pegboard Nerds, Boom Kitty, and Slippy does sound familiar. Alright, so let's get into it. So I've complained about overmapping in some of the songs. Some people might call this overmapping, but I agree with this. Like this, I do not consider overmap. Because there's enough audio going on, so I can like feel the beat. Like they're implied beats. And they're either implied through subtle, yay, good triples. So there's a term for these. These are called windows now, apparently. It's when you have those doubles, a single Saber double, but there's a space in between it so you can see through it. I don't even think this is mirrored. I think this is just copy pasted, but it's fun, so feel free to copy paste that again. Another copy paste. Another copy paste. I'm not complaining, just pointing it out. I like how I don't have to talk a lot because there's not really anything to complain about. Accidentally paused. Another awesome map, nothing to complain about really. There's one thing I could point out maybe if I can find the part of the song. Alright, well, that was kind of a... So that wasn't really the issue. I think I went too far ahead. Alright, well basically, I'll try to describe the issue. Basically, there's parts where it's going red, blue, red, or blue, red, blue, but it's alternating. And then it'll be doing that consistently, like every half beat. But then there will be a pause in the music. And it'll last for like a full beat. And it'll be red, blue, red, and then it gets to that pause, and then it's blue again. I would much rather, when that pause happens, for that note that comes after the pause to be the same color that preceded it. So it would be red, blue, red, pause, red. It just flows better in my opinion, but you can really take that as a stylish, as your own style, like how you want to do it. Like the way I'm describing is the more natural way to do it, but it doesn't necessarily have to be natural because there's a lot of room for interpretation and mapping how you want to do something. And also notes a lot of the time are just a way to get to the next pattern that you really want to showcase to the person playing. For example, let's say there's a song that has a pattern that goes really well with a song, and then there's a bunch of notes that precede that that don't really matter, they just have to work. And they have to get you from point A to point B. So that could be what those notes are used for. Anyway, super good. Just minor little thing that I thought I could point out. Next song, Give a Little Love by Pegboard Nerds. So lots of people are familiar with Pegboard Nerds. A Freak has actually mapped a Pegboard Nerds song before. I'm going in this super blind, by the way, and I do not know which mapper did which. I know that pretty much all of these are collabs between Yazer and Freak. But it should be noted that some maps where Yazer takes the majority of control for a map, and then Freak will take the majority of the control for other maps. So these are all collabs slightly in some way, shape, or form, but there is a head mapper for each of these. And I'm going to assume that Freak did Give a Little Love because he did Swamp Thing in the past. Alright, let's give it a shot. I'm looking at that bomb count. I like how these are all just redirecting you slightly into like some kind of dance. Okay, so this map is doing exactly what I was complaining about in the last map. I wasn't really complaining about it, I was just pointing it out. I think this map could actually learn a lot from the thing that I just described, is when there's a pause in the music, instead of continuing the alternating pattern, is to use the preceding saber again. So basically single sabering for just a small amount of time. There's actually a super easy way to do that and keep the flow feeling really natural to the player, as long as they can read notes properly at the Expert Plus level. And basically, let's say the song is in 4/4. Let's say that this line right here represents beat 0, or yeah, beat 0 out of 4 for a full beat. And then there's 2, or beat 0, beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, and then this is the next note. So right here at beat 0, have this always be blue, have this always be red at beat 1, and then beat 3, or beat 2, right here will be blue again. Basically, anytime beat 0 or beat 2 is presented in the music, always have it be blue, and have beat 1 and 4, or beat 1. I'm getting confused here, but hopefully it's easy for you to visualize this. Basically, whatever is here at beat 0 will always be blue, beat 1 will always be red, beat 2 will always be blue, and beat 3 will always be red. You can do that, but again, it's stylish, but I feel like this is a lot more awkward version of what I was bringing up in the last map. And I could totally be wrong about all of that. That could have just been like a really heavy swing song, like a really heavy shuffle beat that I just experienced there. I'm not super keen on picking up shuffle beat, so I could just be dumb. Actually, I think this is shuffle beat. I'm almost positive. I kind of want to replay that section there. I feel like that was a little pushing it. It works. You just have to be ready for it. I'm not really a fan of it, but it does work. I like the tech streams. I think that was a double up. I'll go back to that one later. It might have been an intentional double up though. No, it wasn't. It wasn't a double up. I really love seeing that those laser rails right there are on their own lighting events. I'm so happy that those weren't at the bottom row. Again, a good map. I'm just a bit more critical of this. That could have been shuffle beat that I was experiencing in the beginning. There's a good chance that was what that was, but you can still do that. That technique I was talking about with shuffle beat as well. It actually works exactly the same for the most part. There was a couple awkward things in there. So if these two maps were essentially perfect, this one is good, but it's not great. All right, next map. Oh, bombs. Was expecting more. Because those bombs didn't really do anything. They were just kind of a visual thing. They didn't force you to do anything. And even though they were just visual bombs, and you can do those for fun, but they didn't contribute to this map in this case. They didn't spawn in as the beat was coming in. At least not on the full beat, not on a heavy swing. Like they didn't really bring anything to the map. Like they may as well not have been there. You could have done a wall instead, and that would have been more visually engaging than the bombs would have. All right, next song, Full Charge. I really like that rhythm right there. And when I'm referring to rhythm, I'm talking about how the left and right sabers are alternating. Not necessarily the rhythm of the song. I like that. It's forcing you into a little bit of a dance. Yay, precision bombs. This is just an alternation of that dancing pattern from earlier. Also, that's not actually a double right there. They're actually offset just a tiny amount. So I like to see that little detail. That was really cool. Super good map. Super good. Maybe tied with Origins is my favorite so far. I really enjoyed it. The song was kind of slow paced, nothing amazing, but the map was still super good. I enjoyed it a lot. I liked seeing precision bombs make a return. A lot of people hate precision bombs, but I enjoy them because they add another gameplay modifier in a sense. It's another thing that you do just besides slash block. They have blocks, they have walls, and not a lot of people hate walls unless they force you to move from side to side super fast, or if they're taking up a lot of the play space. But people just hate bombs on concept, but they're fun. Next song, Immortal by Slippy. I was waiting for them to do that eventually. The same line row, the doubles, horizontals in the same direction, on the same line row, while also under a crouching wall. Excellent, the best one so far. I really liked the mapping in that one. Song was pretty good too. I felt like I was missing just a little bit, maybe as a result of spawn distance, maybe as a result just because I'm not familiar with the rhythm of the song, but I feel like as I play the song more and more, I will become more and more accurate with it, so good job. Alright, final song in the OST Volume 3. Burning Sands by Boom Kitty. I saw some people talking about this one in the Discord. It looks like it could have been some complaints, I'm not sure, but we're gonna find out soon enough. Nice to see some new sounds, like Egyptian. I love this choreography, it's excellent. Oh, tracking. It's back. That was kind of smart, how the wall made you feel like you should reset one saber but not the other. Perfect. 10 out of 10. Just as I got to Immortal, I said that's the best map. No, Burning Sands is the best map. It's super fun. I love the song. Boom Kitty always does excellent work. He's already been in Beat Saber before in OST Volume 2 with Rum and Bass. Also known for songs like Gun and Bass. But yeah, he always does something different with his music. And they're always themed after something. And I love to see that this one had that Egyptian theme. And I love to see that this was mapped in a way that did not ignore the fact that this had a foreign kind of vibe to it, and so it used foreign feeling moves right at the beginning, and the rhythm reflected that as well. Super good map. Really enjoyed it. No complaints. Probably one of the top 3 best maps, period, that's in the official mapping. I think this map alone is, you know, like a resume for the official mappers. It's like, hey, look how good we are. We're so awesome that we mapped this. And I could see Yaroslav being like, yep, you guys are hired, just based on something like that. It was excellent, outstanding, really great. My favorite one so far. I'm gonna put myself on the scoreboard eventually for this at the top 10. I'm gonna try my hardest. Freak, you're going down. You have my word. But yeah, super enjoyed it. OST Volume 3, really good. They're just essentially perfected their craft at this point. Well, not perfected, but they're really damn good. No, jump speed, not something I really have to complain about at all for this, and I'm glad to hear that that they seem to have nailed down proper note jump speed values and spawn distance for all these. I don't have practice plugin right now. Mods are gone for the time being, and I wanted to upload this on day 1 of this being released, so I can't really inspect that, but all of them felt appropriate. Nothing to complain about that in that aspect. Mapping, overall, really good. Just a couple of weird spots, especially with the Give a Little Love map. Wasn't really feeling that one as much as the other ones. But yeah, Burning Sands really stands out. Super good map. Origins, good as well. And Immortal. Origins, Immortal, and Burning Sands are the 3 best ones with Burning Sands. I've already talked about it a ton, but really good. I went into this completely blind, left satisfied, and it just reaffirms my faith that the official mappers know what they're doing with their maps. They're using all the directions. They're making the movements feel like you're choreographed to the song rather than just placing them to be solely for a workout or solely for the purposes of being, well, I guess, yeah, for a workout, making a jump map essentially. But they do the exercise to an extent, but they make it fun and enjoyable and fitting and not completely out of left field. I am disappointed to see Single Saber. I don't really see an excuse for them not to have it on release day. You could realistically make a Single Saber map. One mapper could make a Single Saber maps for probably 3 of these maps in a single day, pretty easily. So I don't really see an excuse for them not having Single Saber at this point. And they also, on the maps that they do have Single Saber on, there's only 1 difficulty still at this point. I have gotten messages from people telling me that they enjoy the fact that I've been mapping multiple difficulties for Single Saber, because there are people who are injured when they're playing Beat Saber. I've gotten plenty of messages from people telling me that they've been injured and that they're so happy that I'm at multiple difficulties for them because they're still getting started with the game, etc. I want to see Single Saber make an appearance in this eventually at some point, sooner rather than later. I want to see, even further in the future, maybe multiple difficulties for Single Saber, and super excited to see the 360 maps as well. Even though all of these maps are really good and great, Beat Saber, for people like me who have 500 plus hours in the game, can still get stale no matter how amazing you make the maps. So that's where I see Single Saber and 360 really making an impact for those people. Other ways to enjoy the game is always better, and they've also added the custom colors. I'm not really gonna use them because I feel like the mapper should determine the colors for the most part, and I feel like red-blue is already a good default color combination, and it's easy for your friends to pick up. If your friends are used to playing Beat Saber at their house, well, they're used to their combination, but at least they did create multiple different loadouts or whatever you want to call it for that. So yeah, super cool to see that they're still making awesome maps, adding cool features, and glad to see that they added a polished color picker to the game as well. Super happy. Really good. song pack. We are still going to be getting to OST Volume 1, just you wait. We'll try to do that as soon as possible. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that anybody watching this who's getting into mapping took a couple of cues from the mapping and OST, because a lot of people do come in the BSMG Discord and they're asking, like, what pattern should I do? What am I doing wrong? And we can try to guide them as much as possible, but a lot of people like an example, and I personally like to point at Imagine Dragons and now OST Volume 3 for how people should map. Just look at these maps, they're already built into the game, take inspiration from those, and that will give you a great idea on how you can start mapping yourself. So I hope you enjoyed, I hope you took some knowledge away from this, and I hope to see you again soon when we do OST Volume 1. Alright, enjoy your day.